Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is episode 418 for August 19th, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel, the hunting gear guy.
I'm another one of your hosts, Kyle, Half.
And I'm the last host, Mo.
Mo or Mozzarella?
Mozzarella.
Is that how they say it in Italian?
Yeah, something like that.
Italian? Italian.
Italian, yeah.
Yeah. I speak a little bit of Italian. Pizza.
Italian.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like Peter Griffin from Family Guy. He speaks excellent Italian. It's everything. Bibbidi bubbidi bubbidi boo. Not offensive at all, but
all right. Why don't we get into what we did in guns this week? What we did in guns is brought to you by Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. Right now, they have Beretta Days coming up September 4th from 10 to 5. So if you want to go shoot like a fancy, now keep in mind, like Beretta, this is like the Volkswagen of the gun world. They own like all sorts of brands. Mm-hmm. So you go for Beretta Days, you can shoot some Beretta, you can shoot some Benelli, you can shoot Sacco, whatever, Tika, Burris, Steiner, like all that stuff's underneath that parent global mega brand of Beretta. So go check those out. Check out the 1301. The 1301 is badass, like excellent three-gun shotgun, super fast, super light, really great shotgun. And they'll have some draw prizes and event details and whatnot. So maybe you'll win something. That'd be neat.
And it's not that expensive either, comparing to some of the other ones. The 1301,
$1,500, give or take.
Yeah.
Like
right
at the low end, you've got the M3K. In the middle, you got like the 1301, and it's still cheaper than what's an M2 go for these days?
They're still sitting about 18, 19.
18, 19, and you got to do a bunch of stuff to an M2 that you may not have to do to a 1301.
Well, yeah, you still got to open that load port, and with that load port is so deep. You have to cut away so much material.
That's what grinders are for.
Yep. Grinders and Dremels.
Maybe a file, maybe a machinist. I don't know. No, grinder.
Yeah.
Kyle, why don't you start us off with what you did in guns this week?
Not so much on the guns, but the wife and I, we went shot that 3D archery match here, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of walking. My feet were sore after the first day, and then continued on for the Sunday. It was really cool targets. It was really interesting. They had the main event, which is your normal size animals at varying ranges. I think the furthest was like 50 yards, something like that.
I don't know that we've talked like in depth about 3D archery tournaments. What are they all about? What's a day look like at a 3D archery tournament?
So we had 2 loops. Like there was 3 loops in total, or 3 rounds. And so Saturday we did 2 loops. We did the B loop because that one had a lot of hills, so we wanted to get that out right away when we were fresh. And you basically walk along a trail. It's like sporting clays, golf. You walk through the bush along this trail, and there's different stations and different presentations. Like they are actually like 3D animal targets. So you could think the B loop was animals of the world. So we had lions out there. I can't even remember all of them. There were so many different ones.
Shoot the elephant in the face.
There was no elephant. No. There was a Bigfoot. There was a mini Stegosaurus. There was a Velociraptor.
Nice.
Cobras. Yeah. And then stuff you would expect to find, like boar and snake, like giant king cobra. Like if I ever came face to face with that king cobra, I'd be dead. But yeah, so the main...
So you walk around, you shoot these targets. Do you have like a judge with you, or is it self-reported on scoring?
Self-reported, and if it's... So you'll have... All the targets have the kill zone, and then different rings within the kill zone that, if you're touching a line, you'll just get one of your squad mates. Hey, what do you think? Score that. Like, what do you think? Is that touching the line enough? The scoring for the main this one was different, though. If you hit the kill zone, it was just 5 points. Your X, you just kept track of your X's just in case of a tiebreaker. So there was basically to be in the running to win the tournament, you had to shoot perfect score all throughout. And and then the extreme was a bunch of like mini targets. So maximum 18 inches tall, like just mini targets made to be more difficult shots. And that one they actually used the scoring. So your body, just your general body, basically a wound, would be 5 points. And then your next ring would be 8. Then you have your 10 ring, and then your X were 11. So I did a lot better, especially the first day on the extreme, than I did on the main event. So the harder shots, I for some reason shot that a lot better. I think our first round, I missed the kill zone on 5 targets out of 20, and so yeah, I wasn't thrilled, especially when every wound on that round was minus 2 points. So not only did I not get points, I actually lost points from my total tally for wounding that animal, which on that note, rightfully so. I agree with that 100%. But
how far are you taking the shots?
They ranged, like we had some point blank shots. Like it was like inches from your arrow all the way out to 50, 55 yards.
Ooh, tough.
Yeah, so it was a hunter shoot, so it's supposed to simulate hunting scenarios. I don't know where you're going to be shooting a gopher or whatever at point blank range, but they had them out there, and it definitely a different aspect and made it kind of interesting. Basically had to use my 60-yard pin to get into the circle on the point blank target. Which exact opposite of what you think you'd need to do.
Wow, I mean, height over bore, it's just like an AR, right?
Yeah.
Advantage to the 3-gun shooters on that one.
I am happy I only completely missed a target on 2 targets the entire weekend, and that was just bonehead. They were both like 26, 28 yards, and for some reason I was aiming like 36, 38 yards, so just went right over the back. And what are you doing? That cost me a perfect score on Sunday, that move there. So, but all in all, it was a good match. The wife had a good time. Gage came and walked around with us there on Sunday because it was just one round and nice, easy walking. And they actually had this couple events afterwards. One of them, which was just made to destroy arrows. I should say this was all known distance, so we were allowed to use rangefinders and binoculars and everything. But then they had what they call Sur 11 gauge. So it is a steel target with a cutout that's soft. That's the only spot that your arrow will stick in, and if you shoot anywhere else, your arrow is literally destroyed.
Oh.
And that was unknown distance. So they put it out there to start, and I pulled my shot left, destroyed the arrow, was out of that round.
Oh.
But they got out, I figure, probably 60 yards before they actually had a winner. And all just judging distance.
Everyone destroys an arrow. Everyone loses $12 at the end.
Yeah. And then they had the Grand Prix, which is just bracket, mono a mono. Okay, shoot, and first single elimination. I made it past the first round by 1 millimeter. We actually had to get a judge over to measure, and I got past the first round by 1 millimeter. And then the second round, there was actually 3 of us competing for the one spot to move on, and I was just outside of the 11 ring, and so I got knocked out there. But very family oriented, very friendly, very welcoming. The president of the club there, we shot with him Saturday, and very accommodating, was talking to me the whole weekend, telling me about all, history and past shoots and what they like doing and everything. So I was very impressed with them. So thank you for being so welcoming to them. That was about it for the weekend. More archery stuff, especially as Wednesday next week, archery hunting season in Alberta starts.
Okay.
I got my new broadheads
yeah.
in. So I'm pretty excited about these and got them here. Like you think, okay, yeah, nice brown box, right?
Straight from China.
Yeah.
Just the worst, cheapest
Then
garbage
you open
possible.
it up. So these are iron wills. And then you open it up and then you get very surprised when you pull out this nice little box.
Oh.
And you want to talk about packaging and presentation. So there's your box. There's your broadhead.
Whoa.
Ooh.
So these are iron wills. They're 125 grain, single bevel,
Mhm.
kind of like a chisel tip to them,
Very cool.
and then a couple bleeders on them.
Oh yeah.
So these are supposed to punch through. If you happen to hit that shoulder bone, just supposed to devastate the shoulder bones. So I'm excited to shoot a moose next week with one of these.
Awesome.
Potentially.
All my broadheads are like super old. I think I've got like a G5 Montec. I think that's what I'm running.
That's
I like
used those. I killed my moose 2 years ago with those, and they're a great broadhead. I love them. But I wanted something that does a little bit better with bone. I've heard that the tri-tip, like the tri-blade broadheads, don't do as good for splitting bone.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to get that little bit of an edge, just in case, because archery, it's a lot easier to pull a shot than that.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it's ramping up to archery season, getting my plans together and figuring out what I'm doing.
Nice.
Well, what do you end up doing?
On Saturday, I went to another IPSC match in Quebec. It was Sandhill, which is near Sherbrooke. It was probably the third time I've been there. I have to say it was probably the most positive match that I've had so far. And I don't know, the 16, I guess, that I've done, in terms of like, I was feeling aggressive and confident. And I think it had a lot to do with, for the 5 stages, I went into all of them having it pretty much laid out and I had it in my head and it was ready to go. Yeah, so I was feeling pretty good about it. So I feel like the shooting is coming along and getting more confident and comfortable. The only negative was a couple of times the mags didn't drop and stuff. So I don't know if I just didn't hit the mag release hard enough or it just was sticking a bit. But really that was it. It was just a really good day of shooting. So that was Saturday. Then on Sunday I went to the Maple Seed and it was great. So, but I'll give you more details than that. I'm not sure how things are done in Alberta, but I could tell you the Ontario crew is top notch. They were all like the way they run the registration when you get there and how friendly they are, the instruction. And I guess I didn't know what to expect, but like I really like that, you get a little bit of instruction and then you do some shooting and then more instruction, you do some shooting, just it breaks up the day nicely. It was more physically demanding than I was expecting. And I wasn't in great shape to actually be able to handle it. And, after 2 days out in the sun, and then I had some issues with the length of pull in the cheek rest, and they're great about like this part of the Maple Seed is that they help you to really fit the rifle to you with padding and wrap and stuff. So that's a very cool, I guess, feature of it. And I just in the prone position, I was just really struggling because I wasn't getting a good sight picture on a lot of them, most of the time. So, I'm shooting and the sights are just going up and down, left to right. And so obviously you can't be accurate trying to shoot that way. But it was definitely a good learning experience. And I'm going to be going back again for sure. I'm not sure about this year, but for sure next year. And I'll definitely be more prepared for it. And then it was even like to earn the patch, it's challenging, and I like that it was actually challenging. I didn't earn it, and I think it was like one of eight shooters got it that day. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was. And so I like that it's challenging, though, that, it's not just something that you get easily. So it's definitely a goal.
It's an accomplishment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh no, the person that got it definitely earned it. Um, so yeah, I'm going to go in more prepared the next time, and I'm looking forward. And I highly recommend to anyone, whether you're like a marksman already or not, or you're just new to it, especially if you're new to it, the instruction is really great. Like how they show you how to use the sling for support and the different positions and how to get in and out of the different positions. And then it's just in the terms of experience of, it's incredibly safe and you feel that right from the beginning. And so it just turns out to be a great day. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. Um, then I purchased some base pads for my CC mags. Uh,
Nice.
I guess they're called Boss components. So it adds, I think they're like 50, just under 59 grams versus the standard, cheap little, which is like a 4.5 grams. That's
Are
something
they
like
plastic
that,
or
right?
are they aluminum?
Yeah. This is plastic, and then
No, they're awesome.
this is aluminum. This is aluminum. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it adds a little bit more weight. It adds a little bit more grip in terms of like the ridges and stuff.
Mhm.
And I haven't shot them yet because I just got them after the match from Saturday. And then I do have some 2 more matches in Ontario coming up this weekend. So one on Saturday and one on Sunday. And that's it for me. How about you, Adriel?
Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. So on Saturday, I shot a 3-gun match, and I wasn't sure if it was too early or not. But my kid's been at my parents' place and had him back, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to go shoot this 3-gun match? A bunch of people are dropping out." And he said yes, so I signed him up, and and then I checked my ammo stores, and I didn't have enough 20 gauge, so I go on the Facebook page. I'm like, "Hey, has anyone got some 20 gauge?" And a bunch of people stepped up and and showed up with some 20 gauge for me, which is really nice. So yeah, that's his first official competition, and
Right on.
yeah, he did great, made it through with heavy coaching, but made it through, and yeah, it was really good. All the a lot of what he was saying, like I remember shooting my first 3-gun match and feeling at the same time, it was like, I'm so nervous, right? Like, because he verbalizes everything like a lot of kids do, right? And it's like stepping up to his first stage, it's like, I'm shaking right now. Like, yeah, that'll happen for your first couple of matches.
Absolutely.
That doesn't go away.
Especially you think it's bad right now, Matt. Like, talk to me in 2 minutes when you finish this stage, and it's going to be even worse. But yeah, it went really good. So he's got a semi-automatic 20 gauge, like a Pardis, like it's a real cheap Turkish shotgun that Wholesale Sports was blowing out when they were like selling everything. I think I got it for $180 or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, really decent price on it. I haven't done too much to it. I put a extended bolt release on it, but I think I have to do some port work to it. So I need to crack out my grinder and files and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's what that shotgun is going to be, a 3-gun shotgun until it dies. And I'd imagine it will die at some point because it's just a cheap very cheap Turkish shotgun. But I'll use it and abuse it. And then he ran a Red Dot 1022 and then the GSG 1911, and yeah, he did really good. Got a couple of jams here and there, and during the day he's shooting 22 and that kind of thing. But he handled them, and he didn't get last. A couple people DQ'd, and he still beat a couple people. Still beat a couple of adults.
Nice.
Right on.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's good. I got second overall. Second. Yeah. The guy who beat me had a real decent match. There's a couple places I need to speed up where it's like, I was, say my group that I was with didn't really have any like super fast shooters, a bunch of good guys, but no super fast shooters. And I remember like I would finish a stage and it's like, I go look at my targets. I'm like, over aiming on everything. Like I got like these nice tight little double alphas. Like And that's
Oh,
a bad thing in 3-gun because you should not have two tight little like touching bullet holes in the paper. They should be like wild. They should be like two somewhere on the paper. And that kind of indicates that you're going at the right speed. Two in the middle is too slow. Yeah, but
you're spending a lot of time aiming.
too much time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a really good day for me and a really good day for him. And that's really what I was super happy about. After the match, I shot a Type 81 LMG, so I'm working on a review for that. I've already done a review on the Type 81, but not the LMG version. So the footage for that is shot, and my editor, aka my son, who's at the match, is I think he's working on it right now. So that's going to be coming up shortly. I also shot. True North Arms sent me a new bolt for the 9mm WK180C, and it ran flawlessly. So I was able to shoot that. I was shooting at 200 yards with it, standing with a red dot, and just ding, 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 just smoking this plate from 200, holding like way high on it. But boy, it's fun shooting like slow bullets really far because you really get that report back. You fire, you wait, and then you hear the bing as it hits the plate, which is kind of fun. Then, I think Tuesday I called the CFP. Like, yo, I got this Ruger Wrangler July 1st. I got the transfer on the 5th. Where is this reg cert? And they're like, oh, it's been that long? Oh, well, maybe there's a problem. Maybe we can reprint. Yeah, of course there's a problem. We reprint this thing. So I requested a reprint, and then today it showed up in the mail. I think this is the original one, not the reprint, though, because I don't think the reprint can get here in 2 days. So by the by, their reg certs are taking like 6 to 8 weeks to get to you.
Awesome.
Yes, I'm sure it's due to like some perfectly reasonable problems and not just raw incompetence on their side. That's causing the problem.
Of course.
I got out videos on the Spectre Ballistics adapter for the 1022, which is that mag adapter that lets it use 597 mags. I got out a review on the Nightcore headlamp, AliExpress chronographs, which were terrible, and don't buy an AliExpress chronograph. Unless you just want to, if you want to use it for Nerf darts, it's great. It works fine. Gun bullets, not so much. it just gave up on that stuff.
Yikes.
Yeah. I got an article out on the Howard Light Impact Sports and the gel cups for that, which my son used with the gel cups, and he enjoyed all weekend. The Cabela's Covenant 7 got that review out. Now, I haven't shot that thing, but I've got so much information in that article that it doesn't exist anywhere else. So I cranked it out because I couldn't, for example, elevation. What's the max elevation in this scope? Can't find it. And that kind of thing. So I tested some of those things, and now my article has it. And so I put that out. Yeah. Put an article on the Zastava P10 10mm and the SBI 1022 adapter as well. And then I've got a couple of things in the mail today, or rather this week. One of them was the base for the. I actually got an Anschutz 54 base, and I stuffed it on my dirty Norinco NS 522, and it fits so well. If you look at like the ejection port, it's like not quite a perfect fit, but like so close you couldn't even tell it wasn't made
almost
for it.
looks made for it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the ejection port cut is perfect. The length is perfect, except I gotta grind a little bit back here, but that's okay. I expected I'd have to use a Dremel on this thing somewhere. The profile on it fit really well, but the base was a little bit tight to the rails as well. Now I was thinking, okay, well I could file this, or I could get a hammer and beat the hell out of it and get it on there, and it'll be real tight. So I opted that option. And now it's not coming off. I know what I had to do to put it on. This thing doesn't recoil enough to even budge it at all. You'd have to just wail on this scope to get it off. So that was the base, which, after the show here, I'll hit this with the Dremel and she'll be good to go. The nice thing, I didn't think I would need it, but this scope base goes a little bit further than the receiver, and I used it. So I got that scope a little bit further forward, and that's That's where my face wants to be, is just on the front side of this pad. I'm going to probably replace this with one of my Kydex cheek pieces, because I've got like an adjustable Kydex deal, and that's going to work better than one of these that kind of the padding in here can shift around. And I kind of want to be right there on the front. That proper turkey neck, right? But
so the Kydex ones lock in tighter then?
Well, it's plastic, and you drilled 2 holes in the stock, and you've got the Kydex that'll go up and down, and so you get perfect adjustability on your cheek rest, and you can get all your weight on that gun. Whereas with this, you got to muck around with like foam and stuff in there, and it can tend to move around. So, yeah, I made a bunch of those Kydex rests to put your face on. So, all I got to do is drill 2 holes in my stock, which I don't really worry about drilling holes in this stock, and away we go. Yes, as evidenced by like the little rail sections and whatnot that are in here. But okay, so this is a 25 MOA rail. I wanted cant on my rail, and I couldn't find one that would work really well for this rifle, and this is perfect in terms of the ejection port, the length, whatever. Yeah, I'll have to drum a little bit. Who cares? 25 MOA on the rail. This scope is good for 120 MOA up and down. So scope plus base equals plus reticle, because the reticle has some holdovers on it as well. I think I've got, you never know until you get to the range and you find out where the true zero is, but I think I have 122 MOA capable adjustment off zero with this thing, which will get me, with high velocity ammunition, 600 meters.
Nice.
Now, can you actually spot or hear the hits at 600? I don't think so, but I like the capability. So so that came in, and then the other thing that came in was just today, and that is I'm going to show you just a couple sections of it. Is the Lynx belt?
Nice.
Oh, there we go. And I've only really built a little section of it, but this is that belt that Double Alpha makes, the new one that just kind of clip it on there, and it's got the Velcro. It's not Velcro, but it's a Velcro-like substance molded right in. I was a little bit worried about it. I was worried it wouldn't be like sticky enough, because like molded in, like this is going to be like cheap. But no, it's hard to tell, but it's got like alternating little rows of hooks going like that, and sticks pretty good on the belt. Yeah, it's not coming off, so it's got some good stick there.
Good.
And I like how it's designed. Like, it's designed for a price point, but it's designed well for a price point. So things like the buckle has some take up in it, and you see that it's got some torsion to it, right? Just a little. It's just a big O-ring. See that big black thing there?
Okay, yeah.
That's just a big O-ring that's on there, and there it is right there, and that's all that's applying the pressure to hold that belt buckle nice and tight at the front, which I think is a good idea. So.
Is there any more adjustability besides just that O-ring?
In terms of length around? You pull links out. You pull a whole links out. So when
if you need in between that, but you don't want to stretch that O-ring so it just squeezes your waist. Is there any
it's got
bigger O-rings?
It's got a lot of stretch to it, though, because it'll go all the way out like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
At which point, if you need to go all the way out, you just stick another one of these in there.
Yeah, it'll fill. Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason why I got this is I have a belt for my kid. It's getting a little bit small. Should I buy another belt and then wait and then buy another belt like 2 years later, or get one of these and like, oh, he's getting a little bit bigger? Okay, well, stick one of these guys here if I can get it going the right way. Stick one of those guys on there. Stick the pin through. Boom.
You got a bigger belt. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Great idea.
We'll see. I was talking with Taylor actually on Instagram, and he was saying he tried one of these at an IPSC match, and he said it was very comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that could make it comfortable. It won't bend sideways, like it can't, because of the
very rigid.
Designed. Yeah, super rigid. And yet it's got like a lot of flexibility this way, so you wouldn't get as bad a pinch points on your hips and that kind of thing. It'll just like bend around them, right? Whereas like your traditional very stiff belt, will want to stay around, and where your hips and whatever hit it, it's the tough luck. That's where you're going to get all the pressure on it. So I think it'll be good for that stuff. I think so. I don't know.
Seems
I like it though. I like the idea, and then the making it really compact and stuffing it in your bag. The fact that your gun belt is like this big oval with a bunch of crap
that's
on it.
In terms of space, that's a huge plus for it.
Yeah, being able to carry it inside a bag or inside a bin or something like that would be really nice. And then I'm getting ready to move, so I tore down my my green screen or white screen, whatever screen I want. Tore that down. And I'm trying to clear up some space here to make my place sellable. So I am taking reasonable offers on a Terra TM9, Winchester Wildcat 22, and Norinco NP 22 with a whole bunch of upgraded kit in it. So if anyone wants to find out about that, email me.
Adriel's big moving sale.
Yeah, don't want to move at all because I'm moving my non-gun stuff to my brother's place just to clear up some space, and I'm moving my gun stuff to another buddy's place. But it's not infinite. I don't have infinite space.
Yeah,
and
sure.
the more I can just sell, the better. And that's about it for me so far. This weekend, I might see Kelly because she's going to be in Calgary at the same time I'm going to be in Calgary. But I'm in Calgary with my family doing family stuff, and maybe I just will head home, or maybe I'll see her. I don't know. Maybe. If I have time, I'd like to hit the range and take that Ruger Wrangler now that I finally have the registered.
Yeah, you can actually
that would
shoot
be
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Let's actually get out and shoot that thing. There's something else I needed to shoot.
All of them.
All of them? All of them before boxing them up and not looking at them for another 2 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I'm looking forward to getting a place with a basement and a lot more space, and having a gun basement. Maybe some people have a gun room. I'm thinking I'll just take the whole basement. Yeah.
It is nice. That's what I did. It's nice.
I think I'm gonna do that. I mean, I could also put my work stuff down there. I could work down there, work screen, not work stuff as well. The gun videos and that kind of thing. It'd be nice to have some permanent spots for photography, videography. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. It's been too long. Yeah, but that's about it for me. So move that over. Why don't we get into upcoming events? So upcoming events is sponsored by Telos Alpha. Telos Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, building you awesome new websites with e-commerce in them and all that kind of stuff, and battling the stigma that the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. So learn more at telosalpha.com. Upcoming Maple Seeds, there are a few that still have tickets available. Cornwall is past. Bonnyville coming up is getting almost closed in terms of spots, but there are still a couple there, and that's a beautiful range. And then I think all of our other ones after that are sold out. So check out mapleseedrifleman.com for more information on that.
Definitely sign up for them. It's totally worth it. Great value for the money. Great value for the money.
And use slings in ways that you never even thought about.
Oh yeah.
From Kevin S. That's this weekend here. Thunder Bay Combat Club is running an IPSC match. That's coming this weekend. Bring 100 rounds. Match fee is $20. Oh my God. This thing isn't sold out yet. Location, Nulalu, Ontario. Where is that in Ontario? Is that out in the sticks? Thunder Bay. It's got to be out in the sticks compared to all your population. Yes. That's why it's $20. That's amazing. Yes. If you're in the area, go shoot an IPSC match.
Yeah, that's cheap.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about the Chaz sight-in day. If you want to sight in your hunting rifle, head on down August 25th for free. You can go shoot your hunting rifle and sight it in before hunting season. Let's see. Mighty Peace 3-gun team 3-gun match will be in Peace River October 2nd and 3rd. It's $160 per team. How big are the teams? 3? 2?
2.
2-person teams. Contact Steve-O on the MP3G Facebook page to register.
It's always a great time.
I wonder if I'm free that weekend.
Depends if you're shooting a Chaz match or not. Jennifer
Is Chaz that
Hodgins
weekend?
coming up. She's already
Hmm.
registered apparently. So
All right, gotta think about
find a
that one.
teammate. Come on up.
And for Ladies' Days, CCFR Ladies' Days, stay tuned for announcements from Kingston, Cambridge, and others. Let's move on to the news. First one, the Conservative Party gun platform. Did you guys take a look at their gun platform, any of the stuff that they announced?
I did, yeah.
What'd you think? What are your thoughts?
There was just the one item about the limited to the 3 transfers that I didn't care for, and it's always because there's this obsession about the straw purchasing, and our guns seem to be getting into the criminals' hands, which there's never been evidence of that happening. In fact, it's the opposite. So I don't understand why even the Conservative Party would be concerned about that.
I think they're trying to show concern. You know how like the Liberal Party talks about stuff like, oh, we're going to put in this thing. It's like, that's already part of the law. Maybe they're doing some of that.
Yeah.
They're trying to appease that side and swing some votes. They can't just come out and say, oh, well, we're going to make it what on the optics appears to be less control. So there's, hey, no, we're going to tighten up on something. They got to come up with something. I don't like it, but I mean,
yeah, I get it.
And the exact language is amending the Firearms Act so that an individual who, on 3 separate occasions during a calendar year, transfers a firearm for financial consideration must have a firearms business license. Now, I don't know about you guys, but pretty much every time I buy and sell a firearm, it's not for a financial consideration. It's because I don't like the look of it. It's because I don't like the feel of it in my hand. This one, the color clashed with me. This other one, it smelled funny. I got all sorts of reasons that aren't financial. Why?
And how are they going to enforce
on
that?
A pistol or on a firearm? You're usually losing out on it.
Oh no, I make money on all sorts of gun sales, but I don't have to say that. And I'm reading between the lines here, and I think what I'm reading is don't say that. Just like when I bought like 5 handguns at once, and I talked to the CFP, and they're like, "Why are you buying 5 handguns?" I'm like, they were a fantastic deal.
Yeah,
sir. Might I remind you that the only legitimate reasons to have a handgun in Canada are for target shooting and for okay, it's for target shooting. Okay, fantastic. You have now trained me. I will say target shooting, and I see this as something similar. You have now trained me. I will say it's because I don't like the smell of this gun, or whatever.
It looked at me wrong.
I will give, if I have to give reasons, the reasons will be various and very weird every time.
Did you guys notice anything else negative? Like, I think that was the only. Everything else, one. Yeah, because everything else seemed positive in terms of overturning the OIC and the and C71 and all that stuff. Of course, that's positive for us, right?
So, the funny thing is none of it matters. The C71 and they also say they're going to define variant. Doesn't matter because they have simplified classification in there. The simplified classification takes care of all those problems. Simplified classifications for the Conservatives are if it has a barrel this long and it actually doesn't matter. If it has a barrel this long, it's non-restricted. If it's a this, it's restricted. If it's a this, it's prohib. That's it. It's simplified classification.
Okay. Question. Does the AR then of a certain barrel length become unrestricted?
Well, they'd have to unban them because they're banned by name.
Yeah.
Creating a new law does not unban everything. Them. Yeah.
Simplified classification.
Done.
Easy. Done. Yep. No more. Oh, the RCMP thinks the Blaze 47 is an AK-47 variant. Doesn't matter.
I was going to ask about the AK as well. So can I get an AK now? Because the Taliban is upgrading to ARs and stuff, right?
Don't tell anyone what this simplified classification actually means. If the media gets a hold of like, oh my God, this actually means it will get AKs and ARs in Canada. This is terrible.
But no, it's not.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone that's the thing that'll happen.
And don't tell them that there's already some here.
There are some here. I've got a Valmet that may be making its ways into my hand for a review.
Ooh.
AKA illegal. AK-47. Yeah, so the simplified classification thing's fantastic.
Agreed. Yeah.
Super, super good. We gotta get those guys in. I don't care about the rest of the stuff. I am very much a single issue voter, and
me too. Me too.
I have one party that will make everything better, and I have a few parties that will make everything worse. And
yeah, we don't have many choices, right? So
No.
I heard that the Green Party was going. Where did I see that? The GPC acknowledges and supports Canada's safe and accountable firearms owners by transferring regulations of non-criminal activities from the criminal code to a responsible administrative regulatory framework. The collaborative development of clear and equitable evidence-based firearms control regulations and the strengthening of laws which to seek reduce criminal firearms related violence. That's the GPC's proposal. Now, I don't really know
That's
how
a
much
lot of
I
words.
trust so that's a lot of words that says they're going to move a lot of paper crimes for firearms out of like criminal code. So it's like, we caught you with a handgun and no ATT when you have a red shirt for it. Oh, let's give them a $500 fine instead of like criminal code stuff, right? Which, okay, yeah, I like it. I like that stuff.
What are the chances of that party actually winning a federal election?
Zero. Yeah, zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
I like the support though. I appreciate the support. You know, even if the NDP all of a sudden started having some pro firearms things in there, I am ideologically opposed to the NDP, but I would very much appreciate if they started doing that kind of stuff. They're not going to, but
no, absolutely not.
It'd be very cool if they did.
Sure, but yeah,
still wouldn't vote for them, but I would very much appreciate, and I think that a lot of firearms owners would finally be able to vote for a party in good conscience. And if they were further to the left and the NDP was less anti-gun, more pro-gun, I think they would have a party that they could vote for in good conscience and not just be stuck with like either voting for someone that's very opposed to their ideology or voting for someone who is, but is going to screw them bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it puts a lot of gun owners in a bad situation.
It does.
I mean, it's the same thing in the U.S. and probably other places. Anywho, CPC gun platform, yay. I don't know.
Mostly yay. Mostly
yay. I think the three handguns a year thing is lip service, and
okay, good.
I don't think it'll matter. I hope it won't matter because I don't really like the direction either. I don't really like the direction of straw purchasing is a problem and we got to handle it, and this is the way we're going to handle it.
Yeah, that's why I get my backup, because again, it's like it's not straw purchased guns that are ending up on the streets. You know, when they show the photos of the seized guns, do they look like they were sold here in Canada?
Most of them are
prohibited.
Yeah,
correct, right?
In Canada. Yeah.
So you see those pictures and you're like, these are not straw purchased guns. These were not stolen from a legal gun owner's home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these were, smuggled into the country.
There's like a case per year where it's like, whoa. Yeah. I remember 4 years back, there was a guy who got caught with like 47 handguns, but that was like 4 years ago. And I'm pretty sure they would publicize most of the ones that came out.
Yeah, I'm thinking
like a warning, right?
A couple of years ago, they got a girl here in Grand Prairie they had been following in a bunch of straw purchases, but I mean, it's not that prevalent.
No,
and it's trackable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, it will come back and bite you in the eye. You will go to prison eventually. One of those guns is going to end up at a crime scene. They're going to use some CSI stuff on that thing, get into the grains of the metal, and be like, oh, we found the serial number on this thing, and you're going to jail because it's like, this gun's supposed to be in your house.
You're going to go through the course, apply, wait 6 months to a year for your license, and then go and buy these handguns that are registered to your name, and now you're going to start selling them on the street. Like, it makes no sense.
It's a limited time. You're taking a loan out on your freedom.
It's not good. It's not a good business plan, right? Like, who would come up with
criminals
that?
Though? They're not supposed to be good at math and business and that kind of thing. But I don't really like the direction, but whatever. I will if we got to deal with the devil to get that simplified classification. Oh baby.
I know.
It. Because then the RCMP can't mess with things, politicians can't. It's like, no, we just follow a simple classification. It's easy.
Yeah. If I can take my AR out of the safe and to the range, I'll be to the happiest camper ever.
Hunt with it.
Oh, well, that's
coyotes.
that's a whole other level. Yeah.
Woo! I'll buy an 18-inch barrel if I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not that my 16 is any more dangerous, but whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
Poor
Anyhow.
Wendy and Natalie will never leave their house again if that happens. So
maybe not. Next thing up here. I heard that there's a Quebec shooting range shutting down. Acadia?
Yeah, that was outside of Montreal or something, wasn't it?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Club
Cool.
de Tir l'Acadie. That's my Anglophone pronunciation.
Sounded good.
You're very nice. You're very kind. But it did not. Apparently, this was used in the Olympics. This shooting club at some point, 1976 or something like that. And I don't know, development, encroaching.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah. Yep. I don't have any information other than a Facebook post on that. So
I'm gonna investigate.
That's your neck of the woods. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask around.
Yeah. The next news item I have came out today. Alberta uses hunters to reduce deer numbers in effort to slow spread of debilitating disease. So CWD, or chronic wasting disease, is coming in from mostly Saskatchewan right now into Alberta, a little bit from the south, but mostly from the east. And it is kind of like mad cow disease. And it's bad for the deer. And if you eat it, maybe it'll rot your brain, but we haven't had one happen yet, but maybe it'll happen. Do you want to be the first? Do you want to have a disease named after you? Now's your chance.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in rotting my brain
after you. But
yeah, if you get it and you're the first, you probably get your name on it. But anyways, this CWD is a problem, and the Alberta government wants to stop it from spreading into Alberta. So right now, it's most prevalent in mule deer populations, and they have basically opened the floodgates of mule deer tags along the eastern border of the province to try to stop it from reaching us from Saskatchewan. So I went and looked at, if you look at the undersubscribed draws, I believe you'll find a buttload of mule deer tags available, and each one is for a female, like a mule deer doe, 2 of them in the eastern side of the province.
I'll have to let my brother know.
Which, so
he's
like
in Wainwright, so
Yep. If you go take one of these deer, you got to get the head tested before you eat any of the meat. But
you had to anyways there.
Yeah, mandatory head testing and a lot of this. It's the weirdest thing. So you go hunting, you get yourself a deer, you don't eat anything off of it, you chop the head off, you put the head in like a grocery bag, and you take it to some freezer inside some town or city or whatever, and you write your name and stuff on this frozen deer head, and you just chuck it in a freezer. and you wait for some government tester to say no mad cow or mad deer disease on here, so you're good to eat it.
You're good.
Then
the head's good.
Yeah, it's wild, but it's another thing again that hunters do to or can be asked to do by the government to help out with controlling disease and helping to make sure that the population is healthier overall. So I like it. Yeah,
it's a good story.
Yeah, if you're on the eastern side of Alberta, consider going and shooting a couple mule deer, like legally, with one of them tags. Yeah. Yeah. I checked the region I hunt in, and there were 170 tags. They're all gone.
Yeah.
I know I could get some. I know there's a pile in there, but there weren't as many because I'm not as close to the border as a lot of the spread is. Anyways, Wainwright, Cold Lake, Bonnyville, all that area. Lots of mule deer tags up for grabs. CCFR Legal Fund. We don't have any updates this week, but if you'd like to buy a neon sign by way of a contest, go to the sign contest on firearmsrights.ca and put in some money, and maybe you'll get a neon sign. Next, we're going into New Gun Stuff. New Gun Stuff is sponsored by Bolt Action Coffee. Slamfire Radio is now a brand ambassador for Bolt Action Coffee. Coffee is roasted in small batches and is some of the best coffee you can get your hands on. Send it to your house by going to boltactioncoffee.com. Discount code SLAMFIRE. The first item that we have here is a real weird one. Smith & Wesson made the M&P 12. I hate their naming conventions, by the way, because try to search S&W M&P with the ampersands on like Canadian Gun Nuts. It's an old forum. It does not handle ampersands at all. You can't search that gun. Anyways, aside from that, they have a new 12 gauge, and it is kind of like a KSG. Very much like a KSG. And if I were to share my screen, I will share a little bit of the video. So this is the firearms blog, and it's
it looks very similar. Yeah,
very similar to the KSG. I don't really know if I like it. It seems like it's got more going on with it than it needs to. Total mag capacity of 6 with twin mag tubes. You have to push a special button to switch between the tubes, so it's not automatic like the KSG is, where you can just put it in the middle.
No, the KSG alternates mags when it's going, doesn't it?
You can put it in the, so there's a lever on it. You can put it in the middle and it'll alternate, and you can put it on left or right. This one, you just pick, and then once you start hearing some clicks, you switch it to the other side and start pumping off that side.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to shoot a 3-gun match and be all Smith & Wesson, well, you still can't, because there's no Smith & Wesson rifles you could use for 3-gun in Canada. But before, when there was ARs, you could. Still can't now. Anywho, that's new.
And S&W really doesn't do a lot of shotguns.
No, this is like, very new for them in terms of shotguns. Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, Tactical Imports is bringing in these Picatinny side mounts for the Type 81. So if you wanted a dot on your Type 81, kind of hard. They don't really have a spot for it. Now they're having some made that are kind of like AK style, side plate mount style Picatinny rails, where it just kind of sits over top the receiver. So that's kind of neat. And that's about the price they go for in the US. It uses the trigger pins to go in there, threads on from the other side. So there's those two thread in, and that kind of holds it nice and low. So if you were looking for a way to get some optics on your Type 81, now you have an option.
Cool.
And just to round things out with just stuff that's like really, not available. This content isn't available. Well, Wolverine Supplies is bringing in a new shipment of Merkel rifles. If it sounds expensive, it's because it is. But if you want some cool German rifles, Wolverine Supplies has some in stock. All right, that's it for new gun stuff. Why don't we get into the main topic? And our main topic today is going to be top 5 dream guns. So, we don't have any filters on this. You just kind of name which 5 and why they should be. Why don't we just start off with
unlimited credit card? Right.
You found your wife's credit card, and it's one of them black Amexes.
Okay.
And you've got like 24 hours to like make it rain before it gets shut down. So what do you get, Mo? You seem the most into this. What are you gonna get?
For my first one would be the B&T APC 223 rifle. Right, because right now that would be, for me, that's like the top non-AR rifle you could get. Just price point's pretty, is up there. It was what, 4,200, and then it's not always available either, right? I guess we get a few in Canada, and then they sell out pretty quick. But I would say that would be my number one. If I had unlimited spending, that would be the rifle I would get. Number 2 would be a little bit more reasonable in price. Would be like a Benelli M4. I actually, of all the actions, I don't have a semi shotgun. So I have like a brake, and I have a bunch of pumps and some other stuff. But I don't have a semi. So I've always drooled over the M4, and then obviously it has a great reputation, and it's Italian, and that's definitely the shotgun I would, if I I could. And then I guess they're around 2,700, something like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen them recently. They used to be like 24, 25.
Yeah, and they've gone up in
Yeah.
price. They did, because when I first started noticing them, it was 24, 24 and a half, and now they're 26, 27. So they've definitely gone up in price. My next choice, and definitely more reasonable in price, would be like a mare's leg, and I like the Henry. I think the Henry out of the there's the Chiappa and the Rossi, and I think that's it for the mare's legs. And I would
Now,
want to.
does your imaginary budget include the cowboy chaps and leather frilled jacket that you'll need to go along with
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't buy the gun and then not wear that stuff, right? I'd look like a fool. So yeah, so the mare's leg in 44. I just think it, like, I don't have a caliber like that, and I think it would be neat to have.
Mhm.
44,
I only
yeah.
I only have one lever, and it's a Marlin 3030. So yeah, I want something, another lever, and I think the mare's leg is just kind of neat, right? The size of it and stuff, it's pretty unique. And then another one on my list is a like high end, like 1911, like I could actually use for IPSC if I chose to. And I really like the Bull Trophy Caesar, because it comes in this forget what they call it. It's like a stainless, but it's like a gray black finish to it. I think they're called black nitride or something like that. I can't remember the actual. And it's got some gold to it too, and it's just a beautiful looking pistol, and that's something I've had my eye on too. Not sure if I would actually compete with it, but it would be definitely nice to own. And then for my fifth choice would be one of the Cadex like rifles, and then again, that's price. This we're talking what, 6,500 for the average one. But it would be pretty neat to own one of those. Not that I do a lot of long range shooting, mind you, but it would just be
with scope. You're talking with scope. It'd be like $6,000 with like a super fancy scope.
Yeah, but I mean, would you not get a great scope for something like that though?
Just throw like a Tasco on there or something like that.
Yeah, or a Simmons, or so you're gonna put a $50 or $70 scope on that beast. Sure.
Well, $75. Like maybe get that Tasco that goes up to 25 magnification, right?
Dig into the pocket change a little bit.
So yeah, that's my list of 5, and I tallied it up based on like the retail price, and it's for all of them combined, and I think it's like 16,500, and over 18 with tax. And I think I could buy like a Honda Civic or Nissan Sentra or something, like a brand new one for the cost of all that.
I mean, you gotta ask, like, what price can you put on your happiness? Is
yeah, I've already bought a lot of happy though, so I'm not sure how much more. And I've actually put myself on a little bit of a freeze with guns. Like, I've been buying like little like accessories and things like that, but in terms of actually buying guns, I've kind of put myself on a freeze for a little bit. Doesn't mean I'm not going to buy any more, just for now. How about you, Kyle?
Good random list put together here. We'll start off with probably the most reasonable. I always wanted one. Don't know why I haven't gotten one, but like a Marlin 1895, either the SBL or the black.
Yep.
The big hoop in 4570 lever action. Always wanted one of those.
Yeah, good choice.
And then in AK-47 or any variant of it.
Yes.
And then we go up from
there.
Have
you ever handled one? Like, either from okay. Yeah, I've never
shot him too.
Oh yeah, I've never touched one. Never.
Next time you're in Vegas, go do the full auto AK-47 thing.
when I was working oil and gas in northern Iraq.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
And I got told I could have bought one for $150 US.
Oh,
Oh.
damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was like, how do I get it back?
Yeah, exactly.
Will this fit my carry-on?
Yeah. And then we kind of go up from there. A drilling rifle.
Mm.
So the 3-barrel, I think, was a 22, 45, 70, and 410 or something like that. It's like 3 different calibers, 3-barrel rifle.
Yeah.
Expensive. Like I think they're. I can't even remember how.
It depends what kind of drilling you get, but you
Yeah.
you could get something. You could very easily spend like 10, 20 grand.
Yeah. Then I got, just because it's big, insane, and completely unreasonable, 700 Nitro Express.
Mm.
You know. Oh,
Which
and
one?
Mo froze
Bolt
there.
action? Double rifle? Would you get a double rifle in 700?
Yeah, double rifle
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faster.
Nice.
And if you really want to, you can pull both triggers at once.
Yep. Hey,
Really ruin
that
your
moose
shoulder.
just doesn't want to go down. So there you go.
It's going down.
You know, almost 3/4 of an inch and $100 a round. Why not?
Well, and if you're like deer these days are more bulletproof than ever. So if you run across like a whitetail or something like that, whitetail doe, you got to pull both triggers. Make sure.
Oh man, that would be nasty. And then, because, well, I don't have an over under 12 gauge, and this is Dream Guns, a nice high end Krieghoff.
Mm.
Is that like the $50,000, $70,000 ones, or?
They can. I was thinking more reasonable, about 20 to 30,000.
Oh yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah. You could
You know,
buy.
I
You
wanna
could
be
buy
able
it.
to not feel bad about going out and shooting it, right? So
I think you could buy a used Mercedes E-Class or something for that.
and then I threw in a bonus because it's not functional, but old Martini Henry, which I have, is just I need to fix it. I need a stock for it and fore end and everything. So that's my bonus.
Do some shopping at Numrich.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Need sight and need to proof the barrel, because who knows? And yeah.
If it blows up, it was not proofed properly.
Well, apparently this was one of the ones that was, I traced the numbers. It's a Citadel, and it was sent to Egypt and redone in 303 British. So it's not it's not black powder barrel anymore. It's smokeless. So
does it count as an antique anymore then, since it's been converted to a different caliber?
It was converted in 1904.
Okay.
So I would say yes, because it was converted, but many, many years ago, many moons ago.
Yeah.
So that's basically my little list I put together today. Adriel?
Good list.
I don't know if my list is as good as yours, but let's see. Okay, first for pistol, I was thinking, like, do I want a 2011? I don't know. It doesn't seem fancy enough. It's fancy, but not fancy enough. Maybe like a Laugo Alien. Okay, the aliens are really neat. There's a couple things that kind of suck on them, like the mags are kind of, I don't know, not as good as the rest of the gun. But I really like the fact that you can like swap out the upper and go from red dot to irons, and the recoil impulse on them is really cool and whatnot. So that's all really neat, and they're just they're super cool. It's a very unique design.
It is. Yeah.
I think I'd probably get like a tricked out 3-gun Benelli M2, something that's been like worked over, not by me, by someone who has a little bit more pride in their workmanship, maybe. And not didn't go at it with a Dremel and a grinder, but that would be really cool. I can't really complain too much about my my Browning A5. It's been fantastic, and just a real workhorse. But so is my Shadow 2, so I'd still replace it with something that was better. Maybe for a hunting rifle, I'd get something fancy like a Blazer R8. Like you were looking at the drillings and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I was thinking, I've shot an R8, and oh my god, it's just very nice rifle, and that would be neat to hunt with. I'd
Mhm.
probably feel bad like bushwhacking with it though, and just
Yeah.
branches scraping off.
You're not
it,
going to
that kind of
toss
thing.
that around, are you?
I probably would. Yeah, I probably would. Just like that Browning A5 $1,500 gun, I took it out of the plastic bag and disassembled it and started grinding it right out of
Oh,
it. Mhm.
Yeah. I remember doing that with my Benelli $1,800 shotgun. Okay, here's that first pile.
oh, the
Oh,
horror.
yeah, that's what I'm all about. Maybe so I've got a couple of nice 22s like this. I don't know if you call this Norinco nice, but it's a very nice shooting 22. I've got a tricked out 1022, but maybe an even more tricked out 1022. So some of the stuff that Graybirch has been putting out, like their foundation stock, it looks fantastic. They're doing some wild stuff with that thing. I would probably want one of those, just because it's wild and it's got all the cool stuff on it. And then the last thing I'd want is my AR-15. I would like very much to shoot my AR-15 at 3-gun, or stretching a little bit, coyote hunting. I would dump a pile of. I would not have a bolt action 223. I would not have any WKs. I would not have like any of this stuff.
No.
I would have an AR, and that's it. And
you'd have multiple ARs in different calibers or different uppers.
Different uppers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I may not even like. I'm gonna hunt this year with my my Maverick in 6.5. But if they were legal, would I? Maybe. They're quite heavy, right? An AR-10 is set up as quite heavy compared to like just standard hunting rifle, which is like all of 6.5 pounds compared to like
game hunting. I still like the bolt action.
Yeah, let's just make them legal, and then we can figure it out later.
Well, then you have that option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be very nice to hunt with an AR or an AR-10 and head out there. But just to shoot 3-gun again with an AR would be so nice because they just work. Well, I say that, but my WSMCR has just worked as well. Other than the barrel nut getting loose on it, this last time I had it out, every time I missed on the long range was me, and every time the dot was on the target and I pulled the trigger, it went ding. So it was very nice from that aspect. And from competition standpoint, like it'd be nice to have something a little bit shorter for the barrel, but at the same point, it doesn't matter. We're not shooting inside simulated kill houses or anything like that. There's nothing tight enough to need like a short barreled gun. So it's fine. It's fine as a competition gun, I guess. I'd still rather have my AR.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess that's all of our top 5 dream guns.
Yeah. Interesting how we all took different routes for the dream guns.
Yeah, I was going competition. You were going like all the expensive stuff, and
like dreaming never gonna happen.
Yeah.
I could buy a logo alien, but I'd have to sell some stuff. Yeah.
And Wo went practical, like stuff he is looking at buying today. Yeah. Awesome.
I might buy a Great Birch Foundation. Maybe.
Yeah, me too.
Anyways, let's get to listener feedback. Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. And he'll drill your rifle, and it'll become a drilling rifle. You just have to drill some extra holes in it, and that's all. I think that's all you need to do. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. Facebook, we've been kind of keeping up to. Will was saying, Mo, you got to go for the Beretta 1301.
I like it too. I've had my eye on the M4 like since I got into guns. I don't know. It's always spoken to me, I guess. So
nothing wrong with the M4. It's a great gun.
Chris from 3-Gun at Chaz runs an M4 for his 3-gun shotgun, and he's got it all kitted out with all the stuff on it.
Yep.
Reliable.
He did get rid of the pistol grip though.
Okay.
Yeah. We bought. I got him a classic stock on that. So
you got it for 3-gun.
Yeah.
It's in the way. Yeah, it's not useful. And then Greg was saying the SBL's fun, but the novelty's worn off pretty soon. Bought one for it. The Jurassic Park movie came out. I sold it for nearly double what I paid on his 45 cents.
Nice.
Then I
Nice.
won one and traded it for a nice Kimber Gold match.
There you go. Way to go, Greg.
Kimber
Worked
Gold
out good
match.
for him.
Cool. Let's get to emails. Mo, do you want to take this email?
Sure. Hello, Slamfire crew. My name is Julian from Fredericton, New Brunswick, and I'm a new shooter very interested in taking my black badge, hopefully in the near future. After much consideration, research, and some great conversations heard on your podcast, I am about to become the happy new owner of a Canadian edition CZ Shadow 2. Good choice. I really enjoy your show and makes my hour-plus commute each way to and from much more bearable. Cheers and keep up the awesome work. Question: what would be the best starter, holster, and gear for a new handgun shooter looking to get into IPSC matches down the road? I know you may have covered this also in another shows, but I can't recall. Also, in your opinion, is it better to stick to shooting only one or maybe two 9mm in order to improve, or is it better to diversify and shoot different firearms? Thanks again.
So there's kind of two questions in there.
Holster,
so Shadow 2, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think everyone should just get a Shadow. If you got $1,000, just buy a Shadow 2 and be done with it. Don't buy all the other like upgrade guns along the way. Best starter, holster, and gear.
Depends on the budget. If he's on a tight budget, I'd say, you know what, go find like a Blaytech holster and, you know, a couple of the double mag pouches. There you go. That'll get you going for cheap.
I like the Ghost 360 pouches because they're cheap, they're flexible, and they're nice and compact. If I was to recommend someone to start out with like holsters, pistol pouches, I would say those are really good. I like your idea of the Blaytech just to start out with too. You don't need like a fancy race holster or anything like that.
Yeah.
Even the Scorpion mag pouches, I think they're like $26 a piece, and you can't put them bullets out like the Ghost 360, but the same thing. You could spin them whatever way you want. Adjust your tension.
Yeah.
And then shooting only one or two 9mm in different handguns.
I would say just to get good with one, like when you're new to the sport, right? But
I would agree.
Yeah, I think you want to master that one gun, like when you're getting started, right? So
beware the man with one gun, because he's good with that gun.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. You want to practice your draws over and over with that one gun. The transition to the weekend, the reloads, everything with that one gun. Whereas if you're practicing with two guns, now you're not getting enough repetitions on each, right? Unless you're dry firing for 4 or 5 hours a day, splitting 2.5 each, but that's not realistic, right? So
starting out one gun, get used to like the trigger control, the trigger press.
And the Shadow 2 is a good one. You don't need to do anything. You can just take that gun and start shooting it. There's nothing you need to do to it other than buy a holster and a mag pouches.
Yeah.
For $100, you could go to like what is it, that the Ghost, the one holster, like that PGW. The Ghost has like a real decent.
Oh yeah, they have like a
$100.
Kydex holster or something like that.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more open on the top than like the Blaytech one is closed and all the way up where
I have the Thunder and I've been happy. It's the only one I've used so far, and I've been happy with the Thunder. So for a holster,
if you have a free gun, I would say like a Safari Land GLS because it locks it in there, and if you go running, it won't fall out and DQ you like what happened a couple of times to a couple of people over the weekend.
Yeah, Shadow 2s kind of do that to people.
They're heavy. They're 3 pounds loaded. If you go for a run, it's coming out. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, one gun. Shadow 2, holster. Mags,
one gun to rule them all, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Julian. From Patreon, Instagram, nothing there. If you'd like to review us on Facebook, head over to Facebook. If you'd like to email the show and get our 2 cents on a gun-related or non-gun related thing, send your email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. new Patreon supporters. I mailed some patches and stickers to one of you guys last week, so it's on the way. If you'd like to help out support the show, head on over to patreon.com/slamfireradio, and it helps us with hosting and StreamYard and that kind of thing. Shout outs. Anyone have any shout outs?
I do. I got a shout out to Mike and the crew who helped set up and run that archery match over the weekend. They're extremely accommodating, nice, and put on a great match. And then want to thank all the sponsors who either sponsored prizes or money or whatever they did for the match. Anyway, everyone who sponsored the match, thank you. It was really appreciated.
Awesome. Mo?
I have a couple of Sylvan that I shot with in my squad at the IPSC match. He's a good guy, and he also listens to the show, so thank you for listening. The other shout out is to the Maple Seed crew, the Kellys, Kelly's husband, and the rest of the gang. I don't want to miss anybody's name, but they were like super supportive, and they're good people, and they're volunteers, and they're doing God's work out there, our work out there, promoting guns in a positive, safe, fun way. Like they couldn't have been better. So that's it for me.
Awesome. And my shout out is to all the ROs who volunteered their time at the Chaz 3-gun match, and then to our match director, Mark, who I think this is his first time he's match directed, and it was fantastic. Really well put together and super organized, which is good. When things are organized, our build time was like really quick. We were like ready by 9, which is really weird. Usually we're dicking around all morning and like, oh, we need this, and you go back to the where the gear is and the props and stuff like 3 or 4 times, and it didn't happen like that. It was super well. Oh, that's one other thing I forgot to mention. I did the headphones to walkie-talkie thing, the cord there. Oh, it was awesome. It was badass, because I just be like ROing, and I'd hear like someone say, "Oh, we need the match director," and I'd be like, "Oh, he's right in front of me. Okay, well, I'll let him know right after he's done shooting." Right, and it was excellent for comms, because the radio wasn't sitting back at the bench on someone's table or something like that. It was on me, and because I could just hear everything around me. And then all of a sudden I just hear a voice just talking to me on the radio. It was so clear and crisp. It was fantastic.
Nice.
Highly recommended. If you use radios for your event and you've got Electronic Ear Pro on, definitely do that. It was so good. One of the guys at the match had the Ear Pro. There's like it's almost like it's like $100 Comtac knockoff. And you can get a push to talk that works with the Baofeng radios. It's like a cheap way of doing the Army Comtac thing, and I'm real curious about that kind of idea, because then you get like really good communication, not just like I have a radio, like I have a radio and I can use it at any time I need to. And if everyone's got their radios on them and everyone's listening, then you can like the comms are much better. You can tell people when you need stuff or when you're moving squads on, and it makes the day move a lot faster. Yeah.
I had one more thing too. I forgot to mention earlier. It's a public service announcement for bald men. If you're going to be outside for 2 days in the sun, don't wear a trucker hat, or else you're going to have an interesting pattern burned in the back of your head. So keep that in mind.
Is this your first time finding that out
now?
Yeah, like I don't normally wear the trucker style caps and stuff, but I'm like, never again. So
yeah, you get that D. The grill is one thing, but the like the D on the back of your head, where the
line down the middle, and then the yeah. I learned my lesson.
All right, with that, check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. Give us a review on Facebook. We'll read it on the air here. Join the CCFR, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Good night.